USA.
The Expanded University, imaginative and boundless. Grand Moff Tarkin may be one of the top 5 most intimidating villains without superpowers of any kind in science fiction history. No doubt, the on-screen presence of veteran Peter Cushing contributed most to this status, but the creative writings of George Lucas and others also lent a hand in making the character what it was. In this video, we will explore a lesser-known fact about the character in real canon, the only canon. You may know that Tarkin was governor of his homeworld of Eriadu. You may know that he kept a mistress in the form of Natasi Dala. But did you know that he had temptations, if not plans, to replace Palpatine as Emperor? In the film, only suggestions of this exist. Most prominent is when Tarkin refused to evacuate the Death Star after being informed by Chief Bast that the rebel attack posed a threat to the station. In context, Tarkin knew that the station was his power base, and he couldn't let go of it. In the first Star Wars production of any kind, the novelization released in 1976, the idea was there. First, in the briefing room scene. In the book, the lines and roles are different from what wound up in the film. Let's read. Tag objected. I beg to differ with you, Ramodi. I think the construction of this station has more to do with Governor Tarkin's bid for personal power and recognition than with any justifiable military strategy. Within the Senate, the rebels will continue to increase their support as long as in the film, the rant is cut off by the entrance of Tarkin and Vader. It's interesting to note that both officers and senators are present in the scene in the novelization. Another thing to keep in mind about the Emperor at the time of the novelization is that he was not conceived of as the all-powerful entity we came to know in Return of the Jedi. Here is what the prologue says regarding Palpatine. Once secure in office, he declared himself Emperor, shutting himself away from the populace. Soon he was controlled by the very assistants and bootlickers he had appointed to high office, and the cries of the people for justice did not reach his ears. Having exterminated through treachery and deception the Jedi Knights, guardians of justice in the galaxy, the Imperial governors and bureaucrats prepared to institute a reign of terror among the disheartened worlds of the galaxy. Many used the Imperial forces in the name of the increasingly isolated Emperor to further their own personal ambitions. But what of Vader? He seemed to be aligned with Tarkin in his indifference to the Emperor. Let's read from this passage. Lord Vader will provide us with the location of the rebel fortress by the time this station is certified operational, Tarkin declared. That known, we will proceed to it and destroy it utterly, crushing this pathetic rebellion in one swift stroke. As the Emperor wills it, Vader added, not without sarcasm, so shall it be. He was well aware that despite all their intelligence and drive, the vastness and wonder were lost on the two men who continued to chatter monkey-like behind him. Tarkin and Mati were talented and ambitious, but they saw things only on the scale of human pettiness. It was a pity, Vader thought, that they did not possess the scope to match their abilities. In the movie program and subsequent editions of the novelization, this information was shared about Tarkin. Grand Moff Tarkin is governor of the Imperial Outland regions. His insatiable political ambitions to become emperor have driven him to use ruthless means to quell the rapidly growing rebellion. To this end, he has constructed a large and frighteningly powerful new battle station, the Death Star, capable of destroying an entire planet. Brian Daley, author of the original Han Solo novels, would write the script for the radio adaptation, which expanded on many of the events in the film. There was an entire subplot built around Tarkin's temptation to use the Death Star to seize power. Let's listen to these clips.
Ultimate power, it rests with you now.
And with the Emperor, of course.
To be sure, Governor, that's what I meant. the Emperor is far from here. Actual command of the Death Star is yours.
Yes. Lord Vader.
I'm informed that the station is now fully operational.
Yes, Vader, that's correct.
We need only a word from the Governor to begin operations.
In the service of the Emperor
Quite so. In the service of the Empire.
and the Emperor. He chose well when he selected you to oversee construction of the Death Star, Governor Tarkin. Lesser men might have harbored some foolish thought of betrayal. Ambition has been the downfall of many.
Indeed. But the Emperor is assured of my loyalty. Is that not so, Motti?
Implicitly, Governor. But you supervise construction of the Death Star, sir, and you command it. In destroying the rebellion as you destroyed Alderaan, you'll prove that you hold the ultimate power in the galaxy.
In the name of the Empire, of course.
Of course, Governor Tarkin. But the Emperor is far from here, and you are in actual control.
This isn't the first time you've spoken in this fashion, Motti. Say what it is that's on your mind.
If you command it, Governor.
I do.
Very well. This battle station has become the very source of the Empire's power. Not even the Imperial Starfleet could stand against us. And all of that power lies at your command.
You are close to treason, Motti.
Is it treason to point out that you could demand a position of authority second only to that of the Emperor?
I would not care to have the Emperor as my enemy.
But command of the Death Star makes you his equal. You could share dominion of the galaxy.
With you at my right hand.
I'm your willing servant, Governor Tarkin.
And then, of course, there's Lord Vader to consider.
Yes, formidable as he is, the Dark Lord of the Sith is hardly an insurmountable problem.
You think not?
The personnel of this battle station owe their allegiance to you. Lord Vader, for all his superstitious trickery, can be dealt with. Do not forget that you wield the ultimate power.
I shall consider what you've said, Motti.
That would seem to put the matter to rest. However, the novel Death Star by Michael Reeves and Steve Perry makes it clear Tarkin was wary of making any kind of move. Let's read from this passage. As the commander of such a vessel, he would, perforce, be the most powerful man in the galaxy. The thought had certainly occurred to him that not even the Emperor could stand before him. Did he choose to challenge Palpatine's rule? Then again, Tarkin knew the Emperor. If their positions were reversed, he knew that there was no possible way he would sanction anyone having such power, not without some kind of failsafe. Was a destruct device already built into the station somewhere, with the red button safely installed in Palpatine's chambers? Was some equivalent of Order 66 known only to certain onboard officers and troops? Or was it something even more devious? Tarkin was certain the Emperor had some kind of insurance against any theoretical rebellion, not that the Grand Moff intended such a course. He wasn't a foolish or suicidal man. The complete Star Wars Encyclopedia's entry on Tarkin, published in late 2008, said the following: there were indications that Tarkin, a brilliant strategist and excellent supervisor, toyed with the idea of deposing Palpatine and taking over as Emperor, but no such action was ever taken. Book of Sith, Secrets from the Dark Side is a 2012 reference book with many in-universe perspectives. There is a note from Palpatine on Tarkin. The designer has been tortured and the architects executed. Tarkin is fortunate to have died along with the other commanders when the Death Star exploded. He had far too much ambition, and his days were numbered. Palpatine not only had to have faith in someone commanding the greatest weapon ever constructed, he also had to have a good failsafe. It's interesting to note that the original Death Star did have a throne room of the same or similar design as the second. It's no coincidence that Palpatine showed up to the second Death Star shortly before it went operational. Tarkin did not want to evacuate because he knew he'd be giving up the ultimate power, whatever he planned or didn't plan on doing with it. It was the ultimate power, until it wasn't.